Welcome to the Love in Action podcast. I'm your host, executive coach, speaker, and author, Marcel Schwantes. I believe that when we show up with our full humanity to work and lead from a place of love, joy, purpose, care, and inclusion, it's going to make a radical difference in your leadership, your business, and your bottom line. This is a show about actionable, practical love, the verb, as a leadership and business strategy. Let's get rolling. So for the next several episodes, I'm going to be sharing excerpts from my new book, which was just released on March 25th. And that book is called Humane Leadership, Lead with Radical Love, Be a Kick-Ass Boss. This is a book that many of you have been following my journey, writing about it. It's been quite a journey for sure, with a lot of hardship involved. I don't mean to sound dramatic, but there was COVID in the middle of writing this book, which paused it for a couple of years, including me almost dying from the Delta strand after I caught that strand of COVID, which, as you can imagine, kind of put a damper on the whole process. And along the way, I lost my literary agent to a sudden career change. And so I was faced with having to pitch my book proposal on my own, which is quite a challenge if you want to write a book that's traditionally published through a publisher. So I almost gave up until Business Expert Press, BEP, accepted my proposal, and I am grateful to them for having published my book and distributing it out to the world. And also grateful to the many people that made this work possible, this book possible. So today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to read parts of chapter 1 to give you the framework for how I arrived at discovering 5 principles of humane leadership that you can apply to your workplace, that you can apply to make you a more effective leader and help make your business more profitable, more engaging, and more productive. So sit back, grab a cool drink, and enjoy content from Humane Leadership. In investigating how best to connect agape to what science has discovered as its best tenets for leadership effectiveness, I needed a framework for application, and I found one embedded in a letter written by Paul of Tarsus, the Apostle Paul, to the Corinthian church in the 1st century. And you can find that obscure piece of writing in Scripture found in 1 Corinthians 13, verses 4 to 7. Now remember, this is a business book. So Corinth, located roughly 50 miles west of Athens, Greece, was at that time in the 1st century a rich, unruly, and immoral city whose citizens lived a wild and unrestrained lifestyle. His letter to the church at Corinth was a problem-solving letter that addressed many organizational issues stemming from a lack of leadership that we see in the workplace today. Conflict, rebellion, lawsuits, confusion, disrespect, selfishness, gossip, pride, jealousy, a lack of discipline, and the list goes on. It didn't matter what the needs of the people were. Everybody was out for himself. At this point, Paul points out to the church that the only way they will operate effectively is through love. He then presents a list of guiding principles for the world to witness what real love looks like in practice. As I carefully inspected each stated love principle or action, I referenced it against the literature to solidify the case for business application. And to my amazement, each one checked out in reputable studies on emotional intelligence, leadership, and positive organizational psychology. In essence, whether you're religious, a-religious, agnostic, or atheist, you can say that science has finally caught up to what the world religions have known for thousands of years. The 5 principles from Paul's letter have been reinterpreted as a business philosophy that won't compromise results, profits, and excellence. And they are patience, kindness, humility, advocacy, and trustworthiness. So, in examining the evidence, I have uncovered the best available data, case studies, and best in class leadership behaviors and practices from personal interviews and conversations with the world's top leaders and leadership thinkers, many of them who have come on the show. In chapters 3 to 8, I illustrate precisely how choosing the higher road of love and action, as presented in the 5 distinct actions, leads to clear advantage. As we explore the era of remote and hybrid work environment and dive deeper into the digital age, it's evident that the workplace has drastically changed and that leadership thinking continues to evolve. But what will never change is that humans are wired biologically to connect relationally and to feel and experience that they matter and that what they do matters. To that end, the love and action framework we will uncover in the book will ensure that companies and organizations have proper guardrails directing them to meet their employees' greatest human needs. So whether you accept what's coming or not, deep down, effective leadership is love practically demonstrated. To achieve business success and leave a legacy, the best understand that they must master their people skills. Indeed, it's a lifelong journey, a deeply rewarding one that requires immense courage and continuous learning and growth. Are you ready to explore? Join me in Humane Leadership. Lead with radical love, be a kick-ass boss. It's available everywhere books are sold.
Thank you for listening to the Love in Action podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it, subscribe, and leave us a review. Until next time, don't forget, the future of leadership is love in action. Believe it, practice it, and watch your leadership and business flourish.